What's poppin', yo? Welcome back to another YouTube video. And today we're taking a look at another game review for a game which deserves more attention, in my opinion. It is a game similar to Minecraft, or has been compared to Minecraft in the past, or has been called 2D Minecraft. And that game is Terraria. It is its own unique thing, and I think its concept and base is a lot better than Minecraft. But I think my experience was definitely ruined, and my experience with the game has just been shit after my first experience because of what happened and how Terraria functions as a game. So, before anything else, please go check out my link tree if you do want a little bit more Tyler Price in your life. But that's all I wanted to say. Back to the video. Terraria is a game where you spawn in a new world, a new seed, which is completely unique. Every seed is new, and you are blending elements of classic action games with the freedom of sandbox-style creativity. Terraria is a unique game experience where both the journey and the destination are as unique as the players themselves. So, there is ends to the world. You go to the far left and to the far right, and the world does stop and the world does end there. You have 3 different world sizes, small, medium, and large, and you can't go up and down. You do have a map on your right, which does span upwards and downwards, left and right, and it covers the entire map, which is quite good and lovely, because then you can never get lost if you've explored the full map, which is going to be very, very hard to do. But it is quite a boring game. I am going to put that out there. It is very similar to Minecraft and other sandbox games where you got to run around collecting things, breaking things, building things, just to get better and further developed in the game. You do and can build a house. I have had some Terraria videos on the channel, so definitely go check them out. I did used to play it quite a bit, and I did first get it because my friends were playing it, and I got it from Game. It was £15, and I installed it, I played it on the Xbox 360, and they used a duplication glitch to give me all their cool shit. So I started the game as an absolute fucking legend. I started the game so fucking good with super loaded shit. I was so powerful and so sort of strong. Once you die, you do keep all your stuff if you do put that setting on, and you can transfer your character and your stuff on your character into different worlds. So I had a fucking massive green sword, some of the best looking armor, some of the best looking shit right from the get-go. So I defeated the eyeball, and I defeated the Skeletron very easily, and then me and my friends did go down and take on the wall of flesh. I did die a few times, quite a few times if I'm going to be honest with you, but yeah. The duplication glitch was pretty easy. You drop an item, the person leaves, doesn't save, comes back, and the person will still have that item in their inventory, but it'll also be on the floor in your game, because they left it, it's not your world. So if you leave as you drop it, and you don't save, then you still have it, and you have multiple versions of the item. Which I think is pretty cheap. Very, very cheap. But that's how my experience got ruined, because I had so much shit straight from the get-go that the blood moons, the skeleton guy, all these different bosses that this game has to offer was nothing. I wiped them out in instants, super fucking easily. I wiped all the bad guys out. I wiped all the sort of slimes that you start off with. You always spawn in a base generic green land, and the further you go left, you come across these hell biomes, these unicorn rainbow biomes, some water biomes, desert biomes, and the background changes as well. You can build fucking masterpieces of houses. There's even like sky cities and stuff like that, which you can fly to with wings, which I got straight off the bat. So I explored my world. I explored it all with an instant. It was so easy to do. You can even go down to the depths of hell in this game and summon a flesh wall, which is what we did. And we took on the wall of flesh and we beat it pretty quickly because we all had this really cool gear because we had access to not... It was my friend's cousin who had this world where you could just go in and it had everything in the game, all in chests. So you did the duplication glitch on everything, you got it all, you left, and boom, you kitted out for the rest of your playthrough, the rest of your game itself. And I do believe they patched this because when I went back onto Terraria, all my stuff had vanished. All my duplication shit had vanished. But you also have NPCs in this game which come and help you. They sell things to you. And I pretty much just made a hotel, which I'm pretty sure everybody does at one point. Everyone just makes the basic hotel for your characters. And to make them stay at your house and to accept them and make them live there, you need a room with a bed, a light, and something of that character. So I made the wizard like a really cool wizard room. I made the normal NPC just a basic room because he's just a basic NPC, the one you start with. And if they die, they do die forever and you don't get them back. Which is kind of unfortunate because, NPCs are pretty cool. NPCs are cool, you sort of build them a whole house, you get to know them, and they sell you exclusive hard to get stuff, so it's just an easy way to have them, and it's best to keep them all safe and put them in some of the top rooms where some of the bad guys can't get to them. But doing that also puts them at risk of phantoms. But there's loads of different blocks. There's a lot more stuff in this game than there is in Minecraft, which is the game it gets referred to and sort of referenced to and compared against the most. And I don't think that's fair. Again, Minecraft being 3D, Terraria being 2D, and then being their own little separate things because, again, Minecraft does have the villages and they're being NPCs, but each one of the Terraria NPCs, they do have their own personality. They have their own dialogue and the way they speak. They have their own sort of style, look, and stuff they sell. And I just think the Terraria NPCs are a lot better than the Minecraft ones because the Minecraft ones do look pretty basic. Especially the bosses in Terraria, they're just so different and more unique. The way you have to sort of summon them because you have to go and craft a summoning item by getting a load of different things. There is an eyeball demon. And then there's an eyeball demon which is connected to another one. So it's like a pair of eyes which are connected by a string. There's a bee queen. And the way you summon them is to get this massive honeycomb, throw it on the ground, boom, the big bee spawns. And you only get pretty much one shot at it because if you don't have any friends and you die and you go back to your house, it will despawn and disappear. So... Also, I don't recommend doing it next to your house because it does cause a lot of destruction. So most people get this blank slated area and just summon the boss and use that as their sort of boss battle. Some bosses do only spawn in some areas as well, so you got to travel to find it. And it's just a lot of a learning curve because there's no story, there's no explanation. You just have to work this out for yourself. Also, the devs didn't have much communication with the community. This was some of the earlier games, so the devs don't really talk about it, don't really communicate like they do now with all teases, leaks, and stuff like that. Terraria is also a dead game. The devs had producing updates for it, making new stuff for it, but there's so many cool items and stuff that you can do in Terraria that you can't do in Minecraft. It's just really cool. But my experience was definitely ruined. I started in God mode, and when I tried to get back into it, not having all my cool stuff made it really difficult and sort of put me off the game, just thinking of hey, I'm never going to get to that stage again because I don't know how. I haven't learned all this, and it's just a big struggle to go from being a god to nothing and not knowing how everything works. It was a huge struggle and I did die quite a bit and my NPCs kept dying because I couldn't look after them properly because I didn't have the equipment and stuff, and once they die they don't respawn, as I said earlier. So my whole Terraria experience was kind of ruined and I don't play it anymore. I don't play it as often So getting all the good stuff straight off the bat isn't always the best thing. Sure, it's cool to have it all at the time, but looking back at it, I wish I didn't, so I had time to actually learn about the game, play it properly, and just sort of discover things on my own instead of just dropping into it and then my friends just summoning all the bosses and fighting them all with me. It was a cool adventure, it was a cool afternoon. We did, like, kill most of them in, like, we did like 2 or 3 a night because of honestly how many there is and how, like, far we had to travel to summon a few of them, because you have to go right to the edge of the map to summon the skeleton one, and it is one edge of the map. So if you go all the way to the left and he's not there, he will 100% be all the way to the right, and it's just all that traveling. It's just such a pain in the ass to do, especially again being a newcomer, not having everything and having to run all that way to summon the boss. It's just a lot of effort, especially when you don't have the wings. So being a god ruined my view of the game because, I could do everything. I could do anything I wanted with all the stuff that I had. So going back to being able to do nothing sort of feels like, hey, this is boring, this is hard work, I don't want to do this. And it sort of changed my mindset of playing the game. And I don't like that because it is such like a beautiful and unique game. It is rare that we get 2D games anymore. It's rare that we get like pixelated games like this. This is like a gem of a game that we don't get anymore. It's like such a key point in like gaming history with all these 2D platformer games, and especially a sandbox one like this, as big as it is, with all the unique stuff that you can collect and earn in this game. It's just a shame that my experience is ruined, and that's why I'm going to give it such a low score. But I do think it's a cool game with cool concepts, some really unique ideas and bosses. It's completely different to anything I've ever seen in other games, just with how sort of creative you can be with it, and each experience and each sort of seed and world you create is your own, and it won't be the same as the last one, given everything that you can sort of unlock and craft in it. The crafting system is also a little hard to sort of navigate, and you can carry a lot more in your inventory than you can carry in Minecraft. There's also like hammers and stuff, and even like a pirate ship boss. But I am going to have to give it like a solid 5 out of 10, straight in the middle. The music is pretty cool. I like it. It's quite calming to start with, and in the boss battles it gets a little bit more intense. And there is some creepy music in like the graveyards and the sort of hellscape. I really like the music. I do have some of the tracks in my Spotify. Again, link tree in bio if you want to go check out my Spotify and all my liked songs and stuff like that. But the graphics, again, aren't the best. It's all blocky and pixelated. It's a 2D platformer. Graphics are never going to be the best in these types of games. It's not like a AAA game, so I don't expect much from the graphics. Sound effects are pretty weak and pretty confusing. Some sound effects don't make the right sound, or some of the sounds are delayed when swinging the swords, but that's just between my game and it could be my connection to the TV. So I'm just going to put that down to that because I haven't seen anyone else complain about that with this game. The bosses are really cool though, and the gameplay is fun. It's easy to pick up, the buttons are easy, A is jump, RT is sort of the attack. It is an easy game to just sort of pick up and play. It is quite hard if you're starting straight off fresh. It is quite difficult to keep everything all in check all the time. There is a lot to multitask and keep checking up on, and I think that's what also brings the game down, because there's a lot of like housework that you have to keep checking up on, so you can't always be exploring. You do have to check up on your sort of residents or your NPCs to make sure that they're happy, that they're okay, and just keep making sure that they're alive and not being attacked. Because again, like I say, once they're gone, they're gone. And if you don't care about them, I guess it does make them a little bit easier, but they do give some good rewards just for having them around. But it does sit a solid 5 for me, and my experience is just ruined. Let's just put it down to that. It was good fun while it lasted, but trying to pick it up again just ruined it all.